Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new video. So this week we're not going to be doing a full-on research task. It's going to be more hands-on, but it will include some research. I thought we'd do something pretty fun for this week and something that I've sort of known about, but now I'm actually in depth looking at it. As you saw with the title, we're going to be learning about Wim Hof, and not just Wim Hof, but in general just things we can do to improve our health, and this includes Wim Hof's method. Who is Wim Hof? Wim Hof is famous globally because he's been doing these crazy things like climbing Mount Everest in just his shorts. He has 30 world records, some most time under contact with ice or something like that. Anyway, they're very crazy and that's why he's become famous. He's basically famous for having his method now, and he sort of used those feats of craziness to sell his method. So why am I actually doing this project? Well, I haven't mentioned this anywhere or in any video, but I've actually been doing cold showers, which is a part of the method. And I've been doing cold showers just because I know it's good for your health. I know cold exposure builds your immune system. Let me just explain to you the benefits I feel from having a cold shower. So first of all, you feel way more energetic because it basically puts you in survival mode. It's a good thing to do in the morning or before bed because it calms you down but gives you energy because the water's going in your skin and all those little muscles through there in your organs, your arteries, they're basically woken up and it gets your blood flowing. It's the whole idea of cold exposure, that it gets more oxygen into the body and more oxygen and glucose into your cells, which it makes you have more energy and makes you more alive. So let's talk a bit more about the Wim Hof method. What is it? It consists of two things, and that is cold exposure and deep breathing. There's so many benefits from this, such as immune strength. Doing all these exercises basically means you'll never get sick because you're so immune to the cold. If you can stay in an ice bath, what's going out in the cold, you're not gonna get sick because you already build your cardiovascular system so much, and that's what this is. In this video, I'm going to attempt to do a cold bath, so I'm fully secluded. I'm going to be providing more information on how I feel, and this is sort of going to be an experiment, and we'll unlock our superhuman potential. Let's get started. Hi everyone, I'm on the floor now because it's a bit later and I'm finally going to do my first breathing session. This is just the deep breathing session for 3 rounds of 30 deep breaths, and the idea of this is to detoxicate and get rid of all the acidity and become alkaline. Don't mind the rubbish in the corner. By the way, with the breathing, you don't want to just breathe with your mouth because its primary thing to do isn't to breathe, it's to eat, then it's to breathe. Your nose, its first job is to breathe. I'm going to be breathing in with my nose, and then when you relax, I'm just going to be like, yeah, you'll see when I get started, and I'll give you a brief explanation of the results. Alright guys, I'm using 2 pillows and I'm probably just gonna do a time lapse, so see you with that. So the way you do this breathing technique is you don't just breathe in with your chest, you want to do the Buddha belly, which is expanding your stomach first and then getting it to your chest. This basically is expanding your diaphragm to get as much oxygen possible into your lungs. As you can see, I'm doing 3 rounds of 30 breaths, and after each round of 30 I fully breathe out and I hold it for as long as I can. Each deep breath should be around 3 seconds, and remember, you're fully breathing in and then you're just relaxing to breathe out. You're not actually breathing out fully. Alright guys, I just did it. Took longer than I thought it would. I think it was around 20 minutes. Gotta say, I feel pretty weird now. So, first of all, when you're doing it, it feels like you're gaining controlling your breathing, and obviously with breathing such a big part of life, we want to be able to control it as best as possible. So it feels like I did really detox and clear all the bad toxins from my body. This thing's not straight. It felt each round, you just breathed out all your air, and then you just lie there with no oxygen in your lungs. And the first time, say, it was 40 seconds. Second round, after 30 deep breaths, it felt like I did it for at least a minute. And the last hold, it felt like I did it for like a minute and a half at least. I'm going to be walking around for like 10 minutes kind of strangely. So I'm just going to have a cold shower, just a cold shower, and then I'm going to do a workout, see if it gives me more energy. So yeah, that was the first one, and see you next clip. Cold shower time. Alright guys, so that was my first cold shower for this video, and that was actually the first time I went straight in cold, and God, it makes such a difference. Normally I have a hot shower at the start, I've already warmed up, so it's not such a big difference to go straight to cold. But it was so much colder than usual. Seeing how cold that was, I can't imagine how cold the bath was. Anyway, don't want to waste any more time, and I think this video is upside down. Bye. Cold. So you can see my skin's all red. This means your blood is live. Hi everyone, now I just want to talk a bit about the research part that I was talking about at the start. Wim Hof, he makes all these claims that his method and doing cold exposure, meditation, breathing allows you to control their bodies further and understand their bodies further. He was never really able to prove this or make people believe him by providing scientific evidence. So this is called the endotoxin study. So basically what this was is Wim Hof, he went to a lab in Netherlands and they basically conducted a whole bunch of tests. So what they did, they injected him with a dead bacteria, which is endotoxin, and although it sounds like a dead bacteria doesn't do anything, your body, when in contact with this bacteria, it still releases the autoimmune response, which basically makes you have headaches, makes you shiver, makes you, fever-like symptoms. So basically just symptoms that your body produces when you're sick. But Wim Hof was able to lower the inflammation that one's body would normally have by using his method. Now, it was believed that it was not possible to voluntarily influence your autoimmune response. Doing this breathing, basically, he had no symptoms whatsoever, and the recovery was much faster. Now, they thought maybe just Wim Hof has weird genetics, he's a 1 in a billion person. So what they did, they basically did a big study. They got 30 people that were basically in Poland with Wim Hof doing his methods, which is cold therapy, meditating, his breathing method, and also 30 people who just went into the study without doing his method. So, like Wim Hof did earlier, they injected them all with this endotoxin. The group that was basically training with Wim Hof, they did the breathing, and the other 30, which just went straight in and didn't do his method, they were just doing what they'll normally do, and it affected him. Very surprisingly, all those 30 people who were training with Wim Hof had the same results as Wim Hof did initially, and nothing actually happened to them, and they didn't have any inflammation. But what is the actual science to back this up? When you're doing the breathing that Wim Hof does when he takes those big deep breaths and then just relaxes, is basically producing a lot of adrenaline in your body. What the adrenaline does, it actually releases this key messaging protein called interleukin 10, and basically this is an anti-inflammatory messaging protein which basically inhibits those things that your body releases to basically make you feel sick. So what they're doing this breathing, basically getting all this adrenaline, and it was making them produce much more interleukin 10, which the other group wasn't. This really drastically minimized the inflammation. Doctors were shocked because if you look into any medical book, it says that it's not possible to do this, and they basically proved that you can voluntarily influence your autonomic nervous system, which is the same system that basically beats your heart and does all that stuff. It's already great that it basically lowers inflammation, which is a big problem. But was your immune system actually fighting in the background? And yes, they also proved this. They did numerous blood tests and things like that, and they basically saw that the people who were breathing and doing the method had an increase in white blood cells, which is what helps fight off bacteria, which means the immune system was actually functioning better even than the other people, whilst reducing inflammation. So I thought this was a very important study to show because it basically backs up what he's saying and opens up a whole new world to the medical industry, because it just proves that we really don't know much at all and there's so much more to be explored. Let's continue with the video. Hey everyone, it's day 2 of this project. Obviously this morning I had a hot cold shower. Yeah, I find it better to do just the cold. It's more of a shock to the system, especially in the morning. Today we're going to be doing one more session quickly. I'm going to do it sitting. I was just doing a little bit earlier sitting. I felt more effects in my body. Alright, so I'm just going to be doing it in this spinny office chair. I know it's kind of weird, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. I'm going to do it with my mouth since my nose is a bit blocked, and maybe I'll get more effect. Alright guys, so I just did that. The reason I'm able to hold on, just breathe out and without any oxygen in my lungs, hold it, I think it was like a minute and a half, is because basically what I'm doing is detoxicating my body and running so much oxygen and getting energy into my cells and basically being able to control my breath and my nerves and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna keep practicing and keep it tuned in. Hey guys, it's just the night, so I wanted to make a quick checkup. So I just wanted to tell you that you should have a cold shower in the morning and do this after your shower. It makes you rest so much better. So yeah, just a quick random checkup. Alright guys, I'm gonna do this really cold bath, and we threw a bag of ice in there. It's already starting to melt, but it's gonna be cold. Not as cold as an ice bath, but close to it. I'm gonna breathe during it, so I'll stay warm. And I know with the breathing, it's more about breathing out to heat up, I think. It's getting it. Is it cold? It's pretty cold. Is the timer on that? Start the timer. Breathe.
It's very cold, isn't it?
Cold. I don't want to move because it gets cold.
It's ice cold.
I'm getting pretty hot inside, to be honest. It's not actually that bad, it's just like my skin's shivering, so like I can't help it but to like shiver when I breathe.
You've been going for around 2 minutes.
Oh,
at least the water's not pouring on you like in the shower.
Yeah, so
this is worse, you're immersed in it.
Yeah, but you kind of get used to it.
3.5 minutes and stop it.
Yeah, it is nice. I'd say you got another 40 seconds to get to 5 minutes.
Did that fall accidentally?
No.
Accidentally? Why would you froze?
We've been going for about 7 minutes.
It's not that hard anymore. It's hard to talk though. It's not that hard. Yeah, I just want to make it to 10 minutes. I'm almost there.
Phone's at 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Alright, last 25 seconds. This is the time. It is more than this because we started the time approximately 30 seconds later. So, and that's 10 minutes on this timer. Alright, going in the shower now.
I don't really feel it. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the final breathing session that I'm going to do for this video. I'm just going to do 3 rounds of 30 once again, but I'm going to do it seated. I'll have my timer here to time my holds each time. Anyway, we're going to do this breathing session once again. The cure of all diseases, the ending of all inflammation. Let's begin. Alright, so I just did the final breathing and the last one. Instead of breathing out, I decided to try to hold it instead. So you saw I got like 3 minutes 20 something. I tested it once like that and I think I got even more. I felt pretty good this session, but I've had sessions where it's felt like it's worked better, but it was pretty good. I definitely feel alkaline now. So that was my final cold shower for this video, and I'd probably say it's the easiest one I've had yet. I did the breathing at the start, and it makes it a lot easier to cope with, and you get used to it much quicker if you do the breathing at the start. That's all I really have to say. Before we end this video, let's just recap everything we learned. So we have the cold exposure. Cold exposure basically is training all those little muscles around those vital parts of your body, like your arteries, your organs, creating better blood flow throughout the whole body. It also builds your immune system because you're slowly adapting to the cold and you're getting better blood flow. Then we have the breathing part of it. The breathing part of it really cleanses your body and makes your mind clear up. It's really special what you can do with this breathing and how you can push your body further than you thought you could. But the cold exposure and the breathing brings us to the most important part of this method. And those things are both used to help your self-control of your mind. Yes, the cold exposure does all that and is really good for healing, but the breathing and the mind is what allows you to consciously understand and control your body. Anyway, that's got to do it for this video. Definitely a more fun video for me to make, but I did put a lot of effort into it. Took me a lot of time to edit, to record, and really just plan how I wanted the video to be. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. My plan for the future is to continue doing this method. I'm definitely going to continue doing cold showers. I'm going to try do the breathing at least 3 times a week. Hopefully this inspired you to do the same. See you next video.